The surface of the sea is black as oil. The water is smooth, treacherously calm. Above it, only stars. Beneath it, silence. On the screens of the command post of the Russian landing ship, emptiness. Not a single signal, not a single glint suggests that death is already near. The Ropucha-class landing ship confidently follows its course. 112 meters of cold steel, the hum of diesel engines, the stench of fuel, everything as usual. On the deck, relaxed sailors are smoking, chatting. The sea seems reliable, the ship unsinkable. They are confident. The area is clear. No enemy, no threat, total control. But that confidence is the main enemy. Because at that very moment, just a few kilometers from the hull, something is gliding across the surface of the water. Not a boat, not a submarine. It's not even visible. It's that small. A light shadow made of fiberglass, like a toy designed by a schoolboy. But this is no toy. This is a homemade Ukrainian sea drone, assembled not at a shipyard, not at a defense plant, but in an ordinary garage. A laptop, a motor, 50 kilograms of explosive payload, and a target on the horizon worth $100 million. One question: can something cheaper than a used car destroy a warship? The answer? It can. And not just can. It already does. And does it regularly. This is not a story of a one-time success. This is a story about how the very logic of war has changed. How asymmetry became the key. How a country without a navy found a way to sink a ship without having a single vessel in the water. This drone didn't hit the target by accident. This is not improvisation. This is strategy. Watch closely. Everything you're about to see is not just tactics. This is a new doctrine. Because on this very night, when the clock read 2:17 a.m., the Ropucha was the master of the sea. In 12 minutes, it will become prey. But now it's still unaware. Operators on the bridge are watching the screens. The radar spins. All is calm. The sonar runs steadily. Everything seems normal, almost too normal, because the real threat is below the radar line, below the horizon, in the shadow, in the blind spot. The sea drone crawls toward its target slowly, but surely. It seems to merge with the waves. Its profile is minimal. It cannot be seen, cannot be heard. It has fooled the entire system. It plays by different rules. It does not look like a weapon. It does not appear dangerous. But that is exactly its strength. Thousands of kilometers from the target, in some unremarkable room, an operator stares at the screen of an old laptop. On the monitor, no clear picture, no movie, just pixels, static, an infrared blotch on a dark background. His entire reality is this silhouette, the outline of a hull, lines moving slowly, majestically, as if nothing threatens them. He holds the drone in manual control, his fingers tense. Any mistake, and the mission is ruined. And the only thing keeping 50 kilograms of explosives from striking is his self-control. He waits, minute after minute. For almost 40 minutes, the drone has been crawling over the water, bypassing radars, hiding in the dead zone of visibility. No one sees it. But if they do, it will all be over in seconds. On board the ship, everything remains calm. This is the most dangerous state. When the crew is confident that a threat is impossible, that such threats simply do not exist, that if the enemy is not visible at sea, it means he isn't there. And yet, at this very moment, it is already within striking distance, 1.5 kilometers to the target. The drone leaves almost no wake. It is light, fast, silent. It is built to be invisible. Minimal mass, nearly zero radar signature, its infrared profile masked by the temperature of the sea surface. Its propeller creates no cavitation, which means even the sonar stays silent. It is a ghost, and then, that's it. The waiting is over. The operator abruptly pushes the controls. 1.5 kilometers from the ship, the drone accelerates. A splash. The hum of the motor. A white streak appears on the surface from the engine. It is racing toward the target. On the bridge of the Ropucha, an alarm flashes. Suddenly, a blip appears on the radar screen. Something is moving straight toward them. Direction, 240 degrees. At first, the crew reacts according to protocol, but it quickly becomes clear. There is no time. This is not a normal target. This is not a drifting raft, not a fishing boat. This is something else, and it's rushing at them at insane speed. A loud command. Battle station. Weapons begin to rotate. People run. Some in panic, some following drilled procedures. They open fire on the drone. 800 meters. The first burst from 6-barreled automatic cannons rip through the sky. Tracers cut the darkness. The sea erupts with columns of water, but the drone is still intact. It seems to glide between the hits, dodging the fire at the very edge of possibility. 400 meters. The realization dawns. This is not just a target. This is a weapon, a real one, a killer. It becomes quiet on the deck, not because the shooting has stopped, it continues, but because another war has started in their minds, a mental one. Everyone looking at the incoming object already knows, have we kept up with progress? Were we prepared for an enemy like this? All attention is fixed on that one point. It cannot be shot down. It feels like the sea itself is protecting it, as if it now has a will of its own. The remaining meters disappear into nothing. Seconds stretch into eternity. 7 seconds to impact. The operator is flying the drone by sight, directly, manually. No more stabilization, no automated systems, only hands, intuition, and experience. 5 seconds. Waves, tracers, explosions. Everything blends into one trembling image. The camera on the drone's nose shakes, its lens covered in salt and spray. But the silhouette of the target is still in the center of the frame. 3 seconds. The drone literally bursts into the final stretch. The target. The stern of the ship. Directly above the engine room, where fuel lines, power cables, and the arteries of this floating fortress run. 1 second. A click of the switch. Warhead activated. Impact. The sound is not just an explosion. It seems to shatter the night itself. A roar like the hammer of gods in a forge. Flames shoot upward, engulfing the stern, twisting into spirals of smoke and fire. The shockwave whips through the hull like a lash. Vibrations ripple across the decks. The flash blinds night vision equipment. Inside, everything collapses. Fuel ignites. Secondary explosions tear through the holds. Ammunition ignites. The first, second, third compartment. The ship lists. Power fails. The control system dead. Communications, silence. The engine room, in flames. Soldiers burst onto the deck, gasping, coughing, confused about what just happened. Engineers grab fire hoses, but it's too late. Everything that could be saved is already lost. The Ropucha does not sink, but it does not sail either. Its heart is dead. Its mission aborted. The landing force will not disembark. The threat neutralized. $100 million, a massive warship, crew, equipment, all paralyzed by a weapon assembled for just a few $1,000s. This is not just a successful strike. This is a blow to the very concept of maritime control. A slap in the face to old military doctrines that claimed bigger means stronger, where tonnage and armor were the argument. Today, not anymore. Now every boat, every box, every radio signal is a potential threat. Psychology becomes the key factor. Every sailor now knows death can come from the horizon, without warning, without frigates, without submarines, without missiles. Just one small drone with a camera, GPS, and a 50-kilogram payload. From the moment the clock read 2:17 a.m. to the moment of impact, only 12 minutes passed. That was enough for the Ropucha to stop being a predator and become prey. This is the new era of naval warfare. Cheap, cunning, merciless. And the scariest part, if you see one drone in front of you, it means the second one is already coming from behind. This is how not just an operation ends. This is how an era begins, in which engineers in garages can destroy the fleet of an entire country. This is how Ukraine writes a new chapter of the military future, without aircraft carriers, without an armada, but with precision, speed, and the will to win.